An accumulator bet is favorable for both beginner and veteran punters. It focuses on building on a specific winning selection to others for a massive payout and works for recreational bettors and those after huge profits. This guide explains the Acca bet and other principles related to it. What is an accumulator bet? Most football lovers may ask, what is an accumulator bet? It's a type of wager where the punter can compile several bets into an event. In sports betting, most multiple selections are accumulators. Another name for the term, accumulator, is Acca. The accumulator's main operating principle is that the payout becomes the stake for the following bet for every winning selection. Individuals or punters that place the best Acca bets need a high payout from multiple selections. It's essential to note that mastering the accumulator is crucial before placing the bet. As a punter, you should also note that the accumulator conventionally involves a minimum of 2 to 4 different selections. Types of accumulator bets. It's essential to know the various types of the best accumulator bets on an excellent wagering experience. Some of the significant kinds of accumulators include the double, treble, Trixie, Yankee, and Lucky 15. The double is an accumulator bet that involves 2 different selections, in which 2 of them need to win. Hence, if the choices don't win, you'll lose your wager. Like the double, the treble also follows the same fundamental principle of operation. When using the treble, all your 3 selections must win to get a payout. If one of the choices doesn't win, you won't get returns from your stake. Another essential type of accumulator is the Trixie, which is similar to treble. The Trixie involves 4 bets, including 3 double bets and a treble bet accumulator. With the Trixie, there's a higher win chance due to doubles, even when a selection loses and treble fails. Other types of accumulator bets are the Yankee and the Lucky 15. Both Yankee and Lucky 15 are similar, but the latter deals with 15 selections, while the other involves 11 bets. The 15 choices for the Lucky 15 include 4 singles, 6 doubles, 4 trebles, and a 4-fold accumulator. On the other hand, the 11 picks for the Yankee involve 6 doubles, 4 trebles, and a 4-fold accumulator. How does an accumulator bet work? An accumulator bet is a primary straight single wager that you can place on multiple events, including in-play betting sites or sportsbooks. With the accumulator, you may also link events that aren't related wagers. Note that the related bets describe events where an outcome can significantly affect another, making them incompatible in a typical multiple. A significant example of related wagers is betting on a correct match score and the first goal scorer in the same event, which wouldn't work. As a punter, it's essential to note that the accum bet can link independent events, and your wagers can only result in a payout when all wins. The accumulator or Acca may include bets on certain players, successful teams in soccer, or horses. In most cases, combining sports and Acca may result in a potential boost in your wagers on some bookies. Examples of the best bookies for accumulators include Paddy Power, Bet365, and Betfair. How to place an accumulator bet. Before placing an accumulator bet, it's essential to understand how the wager works for horse racing or other major sports. In most online bookies like Coral, Betfair, Sky Bet, or Bet365, the steps to placing an accumulator are straightforward. Here's a step-by-step approach to place an Acca bet. Visit a reputable bookie, create an account, and log in. Click on the sports icon. Select the appropriate sport. Choose your bet type. Make the preferable selections for your accumulator. Add selections to the bet slip. Choose accumulator under the section of multiples. Enter the wagering amount. Finalize or place the bet. How to calculate accumulator odds. The technique to calculate the best accumulator odds is straightforward, but different bookies have their unique methods. When calculating as a punter, you can follow the process of serial multiplication. Start by converting the fractional odds to decimal. Most sportsbooks provide tabs that allow bettors to convert odds from fractional to decimal. Consider a scenario where you make 5 selections with decimal odds of 2.0 for better understanding. The cumulative odds give 2 raised to the power of 5, which results in 32. In the fractional form, bookies display 32 as 31/1. Note that the most advisable way to calculate your odds is by using a reliable calculator. Each-way accumulator bet. The each-way accumulator is a less risky wager that involves 2 different bets in horse racing. In this wager, the stake is doubled, and the bettor still has a chance of getting a payout if the horses don't win to place. Since the stake is twice the conventional accumulator bet, it means that if you typically set a $1 on the accumulator, you'll be dealing with $2 for the each-way accumulator wager. When calculating each-way accumulators winnings this weekend, you should take the initial odds for each of the various selections and apply the each-way fraction, which is 1/5 of the odds. Note that you need to create an account with a reputable sportsbook to place the each-way accumulator bet. Acca matched betting. For most expert punters, Acca is a significant source of earnings from matched betting. Several match punters typically guarantee payout from an accumulator by laying each leg of their wagers. Like conventional match betting, it's a risk-free bet that involves adequate analysis. With the appropriate use of the matched betting accumulator, you can benefit from a consistent win on any reputable bookmaker. Due to this wagering type's nature, it's imperative to have an account with a trusted bookie for the best outcomes and payout. How to lay an accumulator. As a punter, there are several crucial reasons why laying an accumulator is essential. In most cases, you may need to learn how to lay an accumulator if you have a free bet that is only useful for multiples. Laying an accumulator may also be necessary when you need to place a stake on multiples to get a free bet. An essential reason to lay an accumulator may include claiming an Acca insurance, involving receiving free bet offers if a leg doesn't win. Laying may also be crucial if your sportsbook offers a price boost on an Acca, which you can lay for immediate profit. The most advisable method to lay an accumulator is by the pre-made Accas from legal bookmakers. You can benefit from them by clicking to add to your bet slip, entering the back stake, and placing the wager. A significant upside of the pre-made accumulators is that you can find lay markets for them on Matchbook, Betfair Exchange, and other betting exchanges. When laying your accumulator, you can decide to use the Lay at Start technique in the William Hill app, Bet365, or any other reputable site. It involves laying all the legs of the accumulator before the match. With this method, you can place all your lay bets in one without the need to lay the next leg after some time. You can also choose the legs that overlap. Example of an accumulator bet. To better understand an accumulator's meaning, it's essential to learn an example of the accumulator bet in this guide. There are 4 different selections available in a bookmaker for 4 various football events. These events include Liverpool versus Manchester United, Chelsea versus Wolves, Everton versus Arsenal, and Leicester versus Tottenham. Your selection for 1 is Manchester United to win, 2 is Chelsea to win, 3 is Arsenal to win, and the last one is Leicester to win. For each of the selections according to order, here are the live odds: 2-1, 3-1, 2-1, and 4-1. When you convert the odds above to decimal, they will increase to decimals of 3.0, 4.0, 3.0, and 5.0. When you multiply those odds, it results in an Acca total of 180.0. In other words, it signifies fractional odds of 179 by 1. If you place a $1 wager on the 179 by 1 accumulator, the overall profit will be $179 winnings plus $1 stake, which gives a $180 payout. A team shouldn't lose, and you should draw no bet in the selections for a successful payout. Note that accumulator betting is prominent in several bookies that also provide UFC wagering offers, politics betting, and Oscars. All bookies that provide the wager type always ensure punters get a massive payout for their winnings. Accumulator betting tips. The Acca betting tips are essential data that experts give bettors. These tips could involve various competitions in soccer or any other sport. A typical example of accumulator betting tips in football is predictions related to the Premier League or other significant events. Before using the available tips from communities like footy accumulators, it's imperative to have a good knowledge of accumulator wagering and understand how the competition works. Always double-check the source of your tips by comparing them to your analysis or that of other experts. Accumulator betting strategy. The accumulator betting strategies are essential methods that you should follow as a punter for a higher chance of winning. A significant strategy that most bettors follow is taking bonuses for extra winnings. Sportsbooks with the best offers begin with a low number of selections. For this reason, ensure you pick the best betting site for accumulators. It's essential to avoid big accumulators because it reduces the chances of winning, especially as a beginner. You should also ensure that you don't pick only favorites, and you also wager on markets instead of outright results. Appropriate use of the strategies will reduce the chances of recording a loss and increase the probabilities of succeeding in wagers. How to win football accumulators. The process describing how to win football accumulators is straightforward, but requires some fundamental knowledge of the sport. Ensure that you study the league's table or upcoming matches and understand the odds on every game. After reviewing the fixtures, check for significant games that are worth picking in top soccer sportsbooks. Once you know the value picks, make the best selections. It's advisable to take advantage of home games and ensure that you win the highest possible returns from your stake. Big accumulator betting wins. A big accumulator win is not new in sports betting. There have been massive accumulator wins in the history of sports wagering. The bettors reach seemingly unattainable heights with their success. Here's a list of some of the biggest wins from certain punters. £500,000 to a 30-penny stake on 1/600,000 to 1 odds. £585,000 to an 80-penny stake on 683,738 to 1 odds. £650,000 to a £100 stake on 6,542 to 1 odds. Are accumulator bets worth it? Accumulator bets are worth it, but they require a high level of precision and accuracy. If you take advantage of the wagering strategies explained, you can have massive payouts like one of the biggest wins in history. It's not advisable for beginner bettors with no understanding of football to use the wagering type, except when they maximize the football accumulator betting tips. Consider sticking to singles if you're new because they are more sustainable. It's also easier to calculate winnings in single bets compared to the accumulator wagers. If you want a massive payout today as a beginner, you can take advantage of the Acca wagering tips.